So we are hunting Thanators, and I'll be honest, I am absolutely terrified. Okay, yeah, that's a great start to it. Oh, it's very, very close. I don't know where it is. The suspense, it's killing me. Not so perfect, not so perfect. Hello there everybody, and welcome to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we aim for education about nature through entertainment by playing games, such as Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which we are playing right now. Now we are back here in the Cloud Forest, but not for long, because as you may have seen from the intro there, we are going big game hunting. I don't necessarily feel very good about hunting the apex predators in this game, not because I'm terrified, because yes, I am that as well, but because I don't really want to be taking out the apex predators of the land. But we are going to do this one time, and then hopefully never again. Now in preparation for it, we are going to have to make the best weapons we possibly can, with the best materials we can possibly harvest. And that is where these two dishes will also come in. Navao's mushroom pie here, which will give us the forager trait for 60 minutes. We will always have perfect gathering, and then also the egg stir fry, which will mean that for 52 minutes we will have 20% extra core stats for everything we gather. So these two things together will really help us gather the best possible things. And those things are going to be used to make Soldek's Survivor heavy bow and also Soldek's Merciless short bow, because these are going to be the two best weapons to use in our hunt. Now for our first material, we are going to get the Bonehelm Rhino Horn, because yes, we can get Stormglider, and that's probably going to be the best one to use, but I'm definitely not going to get a nice clean kill on it, and our foods that we have eaten will not work for hunting. We need to get a nice clean kill on something, and there are some Bonehelms right over here. Now there is a whole herd here, so I'm going to hopefully just take out this one nice and silently, put away my weapon, and then go and get it before the shroud completely descends on it. Okay, don't mind me everybody. There we go, okay. So they are not bothering me, I'm not bothering them. I just took out one Bonehelm Rhino. Now the horn we got only does 37 damage, which is below what the Bonehelm Rhino horn is supposed to be doing on exquisite quality, even if harvested poorly. So I suspect there may be a bit of a bug. So just to see whether the Stormglider perhaps gives a better value, I'm going to go take out one of those as well. Don't really want to, but I'm going to. Now last time we came in peace, this time I'm afraid we are not coming in peace. We are going to hopefully be able to take one down. Apparently the best strategy to use is to actually land on the plateau there and then get it to also land, and then you have to shoot it as quickly as possible. I don't know whether we are able to do this. Let's see. Yes, there it comes. Okay, I am missing it. And it's... there we go. Okay, it got me. Okay, I'm just going to jump down and hopefully get our Ikran. There we go. Thank you, Temek. And then we're going to do this again. Didn't work quite as I had hoped. There it is. Definitely not as hoped. I mean, not getting close to its weak spots. That was actually its weak spot. I think that one also. Okay, so we finally took one down. I really feel so bad about this. It wasn't a clean kill, it was nothing of the sort. But here it is. So this Stormglider now, of course, will no longer hold this territory that we are in. And it is probably a prime territory, which is why it was circling it the whole time.
Thank you for these gifts.
Thank you for these gifts. And this territory will now become vacant. And that will mean that another Stormglider will come in here and will very quickly, I believe, take over this spot. Because when you have a very territorial species, like that Stormglider, it won't take long for another individual to actually move into any vacant territory. Now for our next two materials, we're heading into areas where there are already Thanators, but we don't want to attract the attention, so for now we are going to go with this amazing creature, just of course not hunting it, but bonding with it, so that we can head into that Thanator den without any problems. but actually into 2 Thanator dens without any issues. So we're just making a bond, we're getting all those compounds that the Sailfin Goliath over here uses to keep away predators and to keep everything around it calm. And we are now also going to be able to walk in the Thanator den without being attacked by it. The next item we are going for is cloud pine resin. So like many gymnosperms, the cloud pines over here will also secrete a resin whenever it is damaged by something. So whether it's a branch falling off or breaking off, or something rubbing up against it too vigorously, or perhaps an insect bite when it was younger and some resin oozing out. Resin has some great antimicrobial properties if you are a plant. It prevents any bacteria and fungi and all kinds of bad stuff from entering into your wounds. So we are going to get some resin here, and also if you're using it for weapons, it will be a nice varnish, will also strengthen it, make it nice and strong, and that is of course why we are using it in our bow over here. And there we go, there is some cloud pine resin up here. We're not harvesting it at night, but because we've eaten those lovely foods, we got 65 as the value, which is the maximum, as you can see there, that we could possibly get with cloud pine resin if we harvested it during the perfect conditions and perfectly. So that resin there will most likely just strengthen our bow and also give it at the same time a nice gloss. The next item that we'll be harvesting in a dangerous environment will be the pale canyon reed. Now I did harvest that previously, but it was without eating the 2 dishes, and as a result it wouldn't have been the best quality we can possibly get. But this pale canyon reed will give us another 10% damage on our weapons, which is always, good. And here they are. Now we will be back here a little bit later, of course, where we are actually hunting the Thanator. But for now, we are just here to harvest some material. And that 81 value is the maximum we can get. We have only 2 more items left, and for the first one we are back actually in the shallow bog biome because we are after some clouded lily bast. And that is of course the inner bark fibers of the clouded lily. And those bast fibers will be very useful as a type of rope to tie everything together, perhaps also used as the string in our weapons. At least in the short bow where it is used. And right up ahead we've got superior quality. We don't want superior, we want exquisite. And there we go, clouded lily bast right over here. So of course it seems we're actually taking off the flower, one of the flowers of the clouded lily here, with it actually producing quite a few. And this is the first one we are harvesting. Seems to be branching off, it's a whole inflorescence actually, a whole bunch of flowers together. And then after picking this one it will produce a few more, thankfully. So it's a relatively sustainable harvesting that we are doing here. And that leaves us with one material, the root. And for that we are going to go for the pale canopy root, which is in the Kinglor forest. I suspect right about there. So unlike the normal canopy roots, these ones are, or as it says, they're pale, which means they're whitish in color, possibly because they are growing in the thick of this big tree over here. So in the dark of the big tree here. It's one of these 2 trees. Let's have a look at this one first, and then we'll head over to that one if we don't find it in this one. So heading under the tree here. Let's have a look. Any pale canopy roots up over here? Okay, does not seem like it, so we are heading out. Let's go to the other big tree I saw. I think it was this one over here. So it seems that only some of these trees, or maybe only one of these trees, I'm not sure whether it's one or more that will have it, will actually have the pale canopy root. And immediately, I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. There is the pale canopy root right up here. Seems also to be bioluminescent, which is very, very interesting. No reason why it should be bioluminescent, but it is. So I believe we now have everything we need in order to make 2 nice bows. So let's quickly craft the new heavy bow. We're going to use our material that gives us the most damage. The Stormglider will give me the most with 48 damage. I am going to be using that then rather than the Bonehelm Rhino Horn. So this one I bought previously from the Kamitire, and it is actually the same value as the one I got. Okay, so I didn't have to go kill the Stormglider, I actually got the same value from the one I bought, interestingly enough. Okay, but we are going to go for that. That's going to give us a value of 288 damage for our heavy bow, which is, as you can see, far more than our previous one. This one is going to really pack a punch. There we go, craft it, and let us equip it also. And then for the short bow, of course there are cloud pine resin, and then the clouded lily bast, And there we go. So our 3 materials, and it's going to give us 166, which is also 1.5 times what we had previously. So let's equip that also. Now we are ready. Interesting, both of the bows use horn as the main component, main constituent, I believe, of the bow. It seems that the heavy bow will have, let's see. The heavy bow, most likely, will probably take that root and strip it into bast fibers, which will then most likely be used to actually make the string for this bow, which is right over here, of course. Whereas with a short bow, we are going to be using the bast fiber as the main string here. So the clouded lily bast fiber, which is, of course, right over there in the string. Okay, so now we are ready. Now we need to also wait for our harmonized buff here to actually wear off before we can take on the Thanators. That's going to take another 14 minutes, but that means we can actually head to the home tree, because I do believe there is another quest for us. And right here at the top of home tree, I do believe there are more Kinglor Moths that are ready to establish a new colony. And for this quest, having that harmonized buff is actually going to be very useful, because no predators will attack us. Alright, let's take the Kinglor Queen here. And just
let's try this.
Slowly but surely, again, make our way to where we are supposed to go. Now, of course, the whole thing is that we shouldn't let the queen stress, and the running does make her stress a bit, but if we need to get down from this home tree, it's such a long walk. We are going to be running down a bit, and then from here we are just going to move about relatively slowly.
Much later.
Now, as long as we, of course, avoid combat, we should actually be quite alright. We are still running. The poor queen is stressing quite a bit here. But we should be alright to get to the rest spot without any issues. Now, of course, as we reduce the pollution, the environment really just does become better for the Kinglor Moth to actually return. And it's really marvelous to know that we are doing our bit by reintroducing the Kinglor Moths. Now, of course, you can't just have one reintroduction and think that's going to be it. You need to systematically bring in more and more. So we've already established one population, and now we are establishing another little population in the Kinglor Forest. And the more reintroductions we do, the greater the chance that they're actually going to establish and be able to do their thing without any Navi intervention. And that is, of course, also the case with reintroductions in the real world, where we don't just do a once-off reintroduction and think that's going to be enough. We need to constantly bring in new individuals up until the point where the population can sustain itself. And up until now, the Kinglor Moths have not been able to actually sustain themselves. They need our constant reintroductions here.
Much later.
So we need to, of course, make sure that these Kinglor Moths have a nice place to rest. So it's too long of a journey for us and for them to make it all in one go. They need to rest at some point along the journey. The same thing happens with the bees, of course. When they establish a new colony, they need to rest every now and again while the scouts go out looking for a perfect spot to actually settle. They don't just make it all in one journey. Rarely, actually, will they make it all in one journey. They need to rest along the way, and that's what these Kinglor Moths have also been doing. But here we are. I do believe this is a perfect spot. And there we go. Another Kinglor Moth colony established successfully. Right, now, off screen, I have actually crafted a few more things. And I have gone ahead and I have crafted all the best armor we possibly can get, which has pushed us to almost combat strength of 20, which is the maximum we can get in the game. And only afterwards did I realize that I didn't have the Apex memory skill yet of Mastercrafter, which actually increases the value of any weapon and gear you make. So I will have to go and remake those weapons later on, but for now we are going big game hunting. We are going big predator hunting because our buff has worn off, so we are no longer safe from predators like the Thanators. They are going to come after us. So we are hunting Thanators, and I'll be honest, I am absolutely terrified. Thanators are not to be trifled with, but you know what? That means we're just going to go trifle with him. So let's head on out, shall we? I think I'm going to just fall. Okay, yeah, that's a great start to it. So as we head north here into the first Thanator's den, right over here, we are going to be met with... Ah, there we go. There was the roar of the Thanator. Now the thing is, where do we want to go? I think the best is actually to head up. Right over here. Probably going to be safest to be up as high as possible. We're not going to be completely safe. They are going to still find us. But there is the advice that I have seen, which is that if you use the skunk pods here, if you use this one type of ammo with your staff sting, you can stun them to some extent. But I'm still terrified, guys. The heartbeat is getting faster and faster. Oh, it's very, very close. I don't know where it is. It's really close now. Oh, there it is, somewhere. Down there somewhere? Oh, it's close. I think it's probably climbing up. It's here somewhere. Oh man, my heart is also beating in my chest here. I can't see it, but it is probably right underneath me here. Oh man. Oh, there it is, there it is. So that will give us a small window of opportunity. And, oh, it's run past us. Never mind, never mind. Oh, it's dead. It's dead? It's dead. Oh. Oh. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. It's twitching. Okay, I think it's dead now. Oh, my word. Okay, so this is our first Thanator. This is the base one. This is the one that we see in the movies. It's pure black, almost pure black in color. Not completely pure black, because just being pure black in color will mean that you are not as well camouflaged as you could be. There we go, we've got the Hunter's Guide entry. Because if you are pure black at night, you will stand out. You need to have some kind of lighter shade to you as well. And you can see here, whether it isn't just pure black, it has got lighter markings on it. It has got quite a number of scars. This is a highly territorial creature. And it obviously has been fighting with other Thanators for the right to actually hold this territory. Vicious teeth. So you can see there the teeth kind of projecting forward. There are a few creatures like the Thylacryleo, the marsupial lion of Australia, that had kind of forward projecting teeth, and that was most likely to inflict horrendous bites that would really bleed quite a lot. So this Thanator here would most likely be going after larger prey, not just Navi, because we're definitely not larger than it. I mean, if we go into photo mode here, you can see it is definitely larger than us. But what a beautiful creature. But it will be resulting in the larger animals bleeding by biting into them, ripping into them. Interesting, you've got these thinner teeth at the front here at the top, and then some nice big heavy duty cutting teeth in the front there, like the Thylacryleos. Very similar actually to Thylacryleos. That will most likely really put a big tear into your flesh, which will then let you either kill you if you are smaller, or will let you bleed out very rapidly. Also, as mentioned previously, they have got these sensors along their heads here. You can see that there's a big one there, there's another smaller one there, another one there. They most likely use this to pick up vibrations. Let's see, where is the ear hole? Yeah, you can see the ear hole right over there. That is, of course, where they are channeling sounds to, with these little sensors that are, these little appendages that they are putting out. They are channeling sound towards the ear holes there, and that then, of course, helps them to have a very keen sense of hearing. Now, we are just going to harvest this one. Thank it for its gifts. And that's the first time we are harvesting a Thanator. Oh, my word. Okay, so that's one down, 3 more to go. Now, the next one we are doing is the Kinglor Forest Wetlands Thanator, and that one is found here right on Spool Island. So, time for round 2. Now, just in case you were wondering whether the Thanators are really as dangerous, well, there are 2 dead hammerhead titanotheres right over here, most likely killed by a Thanator in this area. So, yeah, we are going to go and try to take out another one. So for this one, we are heading up into the trees the moment we are... There we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, indeed. That pod definitely did stun it, so we are still going for it. We're still using it. I must say, they have really done the suspense well. I mean, there we go. It's somewhere over there. I can't see it, but it is over there. It's probably going to come running at me now. There we go. Hello there, kitty cat. Okay, now, let's go down to it and see if we can take it down. Come on. Come at us. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, there we go. Okay, just quickly heal up and... There we go. Oh. Okay, not a clean kill, not a merciful kill, but it is a kill. Oh, wow. So this one, being in the wetlands, it's got a bit of a different color scheme. Oh my word, we even have a hurricane blowing at a moment. So the hurricane condition is perfect if you want to go and harvest all the pale materials. So the pale canyon reed, the pale canopy root, all those things we harvested earlier. Yeah, if you want to harvest it without these special dishes, now would be the time to go and harvest it. The strong winds are blowing. The pale resources are at their best. But anyway, the wetlands Thanator over here, the Kinglor wetlands Thanator. I called it the Kinglor forest wetlands Thanator. It is actually just the Kinglor wetlands Thanator. So again, similar structure, same structure as the previous one, and to some extent we can even see the big shearing teeth in the front here a little bit better as it has died, and the same piercing teeth in the front there as we had with the normal Thanator. So the design is more or less the same. It seems to have what we call pharyngeal teeth at the top here, which is not teeth that's situated on the sides of the mouth here. Instead, it seems to be located on the palate there, right at the top. So, you know, we as humans don't have teeth there, but things like moray eels will have teeth there, and it's used to pull prey deeper into their mouths. So interesting that the Thanators appear to have that. But with the coloration here, being in the wetlands, they've got a bit more of a blue tinge to them, so maybe they are also a little bit more aquatic, where they are moving along in the water to stalk their prey, similar to how tigers will be using water to their advantage, where when tigers use water to actually stalk their prey, I think they have double the success rate of catching prey that they would have if they didn't use water to actually stalk their prey. So, most likely the Kinglor wetlands Thanator here doing that also.
For these gifts.
So thank you for these gifts. We are sorry for mutilating you so with our horrible, horrible shooting. But we have taken down the second of the Thanators, and that means we have to go to the third and fourth, which are located in the clouded forest. And the first one is right over here. I've already marked it because this is a dangerous spot over here. So we are going to go to Sheltering Pines, and I believe we are going to be taking out the White Moss Thanator. Now, you can't take them out by flying on your Ikran, unfortunately, because the moment you get on your Ikran, they just run away. So you have to take them out on foot, and that is why we are doing it this way. But you don't want to be taking them on unless you are very, very well equipped. And I think we are more or less as well equipped as we can possibly be. Now, we are in the area we were earlier, with the pale canyon reeds right over here. We are just going to land now and then jump onto the rocks here, because I think that is going to be the safest spot. We may be able to see where the Thanator is coming from if we are up here. There we go, there's the roar. It won't be able to attack me from behind, so it has to come from the front here at some point or another, which will hopefully give us our opening. The suspense, it's killing me. Almost. There it is. Okay. Right below us here. It's probably going to jump up now. Here we go. No. And in your weak spots. Come on. Almost. And it is over. Oh, wow. So there we go. White Moss Forest Thanator. Third one. Interesting that there is some bioluminescence here along the edge. But if we look at it, this one now suddenly has a bit more red on it, compared to the normal Thanator, which doesn't have red, which is almost just black, and the Kinglor Wetlands Thanator, which actually has just a bit of blue. This one now has the red added onto it, and that is because it is in an area where red is actually quite common. So if you're looking at disruptive camouflage, which this to some extent would be, the disruptive camouflage of a creature will contain a general representation of the colors you can see in the landscape. And here around us we can see kind of darker colors, so we can see some black there, we can see some red, and we can see some bluish turquoise in color. And that is what we can see here on the White Moss Forest Thanator. We've got some darker colors, we've got a little bit of white, similar to what we had with the Stormglider. We actually have a bit of counter shading with lighter on the belly and darker on the top. And although this is not an aerial or aquatic creature, it still has that counter shading, because if you look at this creature from the side, it being two colors actually makes it a little bit more difficult to spot the outline of the creature. So that's why it does have counter shading, even though it is not an aquatic nor an aerial predator. And then of course we've got the red stripes here, which is similar to these bow ferns over here, the red color we can see there, and all the other reddish plants we can see in this general biome. So disruptive camouflage, a general sampling of the colors you can see in the area, and not just in perfect shapes, random blotches distributed all across the body of this creature. Interesting, we've got the claws here, 3 pointing forward, and then one kind of as a dew claw, or very similar to Deinonychus and Velociraptor and all those dromaeosaurids, one of those little sickle claws on the hind claw here as well. Most likely meaning that it could pin its prey using its almost hand-like front claws here with four claws, 2 pointing forwards, 2 pointing back, similar to a parrot. They will be able to hold onto their prey with their 4 claws, while at the same time pinning it down with the hind feet here, with the 3 toes pointing forward and one acting like that sickle claw of a Velociraptor and Utahraptor and all those raptors. So really an awesome creature. Same design with the mouth. Yep, we again have what appear to be the pharyngeal jaw there, pharyngeal teeth there, and we've got the sharp teeth pointing forward at the top jaw, and then the big shearing teeth similar to Thylacoleo in the bottom jaw. And again, same as with the other Thanators, we again have these little discs, these little appendages on the sides, channeling sound to their ear hole. Very, very interesting. So that means it is 3 down.
Thank you for these gifts.
Thank you so much for these gifts, yes. Now from here, we've got one more left to do. And that one, I believe, is the Boulderlands Thanator, which I think is here by Nomad's River, by that area, because it does look very similar to the normal Thanator's den in the Kinglor Forest. So let's head on over there. Now, I do still have 3 Dapperfets on me, so that is perfectly fine. I didn't even use one with the previous attack, although I did get nailed by it, but that's where the armor does come in. Having great armor just means that you are able to resist the attack so much better. And also with all the Bellsprigs that we have been actually collecting, we do have quite a bit of health, which is marvelous. Now I have passed the time to daytime because I do want to actually see what we are hunting, and I want you to also see what is hunting us. So let's just head on over to this area. I hope it is actually here, otherwise I don't know where we can find this Thanator. This looks like a great spot for it. And it is indeed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh no, indeed. Okay, so let's head on over up here. This is probably going to be the best spot to be. As high as possible. So it really has to work to come to us. Okay. Right here we are. Now there were too many angles of approaches there where we were, so we're just moving over to this spot over here because there are only 2 areas from which it can come. It can come along this branch, or it can come from that side. And this then will be the last of the Thanators. I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat here. I hear it.
Focus.
I can hear it. It's close. Oh, there's my Ikran. Okay, so it's probably down below, but my Ikran, there we go. It is right over there. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. Come on. Okay, perfect. Perfect, and... Oh, not so perfect. Not so perfect. Not so perfect. Come on. Oh, you're still alive, are you? Okay. Oh, shame. Oh, the death throws are horrible. Okay, but we did get it. There we go, the Boulderlands Thanator. Similar to the white moss forest Thanator, it does have the same type of coloration with the reddish and the blue, but this one is much more vividly red than the white moss forest Thanator. This one also has quite a bit of zigzag patterns going up to the head, really red, nice red frill along the edges of its little extensions here, and it almost has more of a turquoise blue than the duller blue we had in the white moss forest Thanator. But this then of course being the fourth one. And as you can see, they're really adept at climbing around in the trees. You can run, but there's no way to hide. They will come and find you. The only way to escape from them is to of course alight on an Ikran and then fly off before they can get to you. But as we have looked 2 episodes ago, you can of course harvest things like the Pale Canyon Reed in their territory by just making a bond with the Selfin Goliath, and then you're able to pass through this territory without any issues. Of course, the flattened tail over here also acting as a rudder, very similar to a cheetah's tail, although a cheetah's tail wouldn't be flattened horizontally like this. Instead it is actually flattened vertically, because there it really has to maneuver at high speeds. So it makes more sense to have it flattened the other way around, so flattened 90 degrees to how the Thanator's tail is actually flattened. The flattened tail here most likely allows it a little bit more maneuverability when jumping around in the trees, and just not at high speed. So unlike a cheetah's high speeds, this guy is just maneuvering at regular speeds, but has to be very maneuverable nonetheless. Now the reason we are staying this close to it while I'm talking about it is of course because we don't want the Shroud to now go and take this amazing animal's resources away from us. So we have now taken out 4
for these gifts.
Thank you for these gifts. And we have of course now taken out 4 of the apex predators in the area, and I don't feel good about it, because these guys were of course controlling the numbers of animals in the area. Without the apex predators, who knows what will happen to the ecology? Well, technically we do know what will happen to the ecology. What will happen now is there's less pressure on the herbivores in the area. Their numbers are going to increase, and if there are no other predators in the area, no other large predators to control them, they may actually increase to such an extent that the plant base, the food, will actually decrease. And if that happens, the ecosystem could collapse to some extent. So apex predators like the Thanators here really do keep the environment perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Now of course we as humans have this amazing ability to take the role of apex predator in the area by eliminating apex predators. In South Africa, for example, lions have been hunted to extinction in many areas, including around the Cape. Around Cape Town, there used to be lions. Of course, the Barbary lion in North Africa, another example of lions hunted to extinction, and all kinds of apex predators all around the world were hunted to extinction by humans, because they have no way to compete with us and our guns, with our rifles. But yeah, of course, we as Navi here don't want to exterminate the predators. But something I have also noticed is, where are the prey animals in these areas where the Thanators actually are? I mean, I think I may have heard some mule deer in the area, although I can't see any at the moment. And I haven't seen anything except dead hammerhead titanotheres in some of the other areas. So maybe they are having a massive impact on the ecology of the area and on the prey base. So maybe it was time for some release of pressure. So of course, now that this territory has opened, as with the other 3 territories, that it will most likely be taken over by another Thanator shortly. So maybe in a day or two's time, we may actually have more Thanators spawning, which I think would be great. Now where they are coming from, who knows, but they are most likely individuals that have been pushed out of their territories by other stronger individuals. Because let's be honest, we are exploring this area of the map. There is still rainforest to this side that we don't see, and rainforest to that side that we don't see, and clouded forest to that side that we can't get to. So it's very likely that some individuals are actually moving in from the north here to re-establish in this area, and they're moving in from the west here to re-establish in that area where we hunted the white moss forest Thanator. And they're moving in from the southwest here to replace the normal Thanator over there, and they are moving in from the south here to replace the one on Spool Island, the wetlands Thanator. So it is quite possible that there are a number of individuals in the area ready to actually move in. But very interesting that we have 4 different subspecies of Thanators, adapting to the specific environments that they are in, having different colors that make them blend in perfectly. So maybe these are subspecies, but maybe they are not, because if we look at it here, taxonomically speaking, this is Bestia panthera ferox, meaning the fierce ferox is fierce, and Bestia is beast, Panthera is panther, like Panthera leo is a lion, Panthera tigris is a tiger, Onca is jaguar, Pardus is leopard. So Panthera here, this is actually one of the few names that I have correct, where it's the genus name is correct here, where it would be something like this, Bestia panthera, and ferox is the fierce part here. Interesting. But anyway, if you look at this one, the Kinglor Wetlands Thanator, it says it's Bestia panthera ferox. This one here, the normal Thanator, also Bestia panthera ferox. The Boulderlands one, also the same name, Bestia panthera ferox, and the White Moss also. And all of them also have the same Navi name, Palulukan, meaning the dry mouth bringer of fear, which makes sense. I mean, they are connected to Awa, they are terrorizing you, perhaps through that bond that we have with Awa. And it's giving us a lot of fear, and it makes your mouth dry. Now, the Hunter's Guide also doesn't say anything about whether they are actually different subspecies, so maybe they're actually just one species, which has this as the base coloration, and then maybe they have what we call phenotypic plasticity, which means that their genes are coded in such a way that they can express it in a number of ways. They can be this color, they can be the base color, but if they happen to move into the wetlands area of the Kinglor Forest, they will adopt this coloration, and they actually may change to have this coloration. But if they move into the Boulderlands area, they will have this coloration, they will change, their physical appearance will change to actually have this as the main coloration, because this is far better camouflaged in the Boulderlands area than this, because a base black color will stand out against the red and blue that we have in the environment in the Boulderlands biome. And that is what we call phenotypic plasticity, where a species can have a number of expressions of their genes based on where they are and what they are exposed to. And in this case, what they're exposed to is varying coloration in their habitat, and as a result, they adopt those different colors in their coats, which I think is just absolutely marvelous. But that is it then for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us in our little adventure here. Nick will not be joining us for our live stream on Sunday. She is actually away at the moment, so I will be doing a live stream alone. And I will be live streaming that which is at the bottom of the screen at the moment. As I'm recording this, I don't actually know yet what we will be playing. But I will be seeing you on Sunday. And then, of course, next Friday, back with another Avatar Frontiers of Pandora video. So until next time, everybody, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!